Thank you, everyone. Let me start the recording and we can kickstart the session. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. We have with us Mr. Oluwasegun Odunigba. He is a Microsoft certified trainer, and he has been training over a decade, and he has been I have been a student under his tutelage, so I understand that he's very good and very detailed and very concise in what he does, and he's been used to it and has been training so many people. And I want to believe that at the end of this session, we all will be building apps, that we'll be training models and all of that using Power Apps platform. So we are very pleased to have him with us today to share his knowledge with us. He's also into Power BI and he's a master of Power Platform. So whichever questions you have around Power Platform, you can ask him. So now I want to hand over to Mr. Oluwasegun Odunigba. Good evening, sir. Mr. Oluwasegun, you are welcome on the call. And can you please turn on your video camera so that our
so good
people
evening.
can meet you? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And I'm very happy to be here. So thank you very much. I think, I don't know if the recording has started.
Yes, it has started. You can go on, sir.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Let me quickly share my screen. Please, I need to know how many minutes do I have?
It's 1.5 minutes. So it's from
1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so thank you very much. I want to assume that we can see my screen. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, it's visible from my end. Okay, they are giving thumbs up, so they can see your screen, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm glad to be here today, and my name is Oluwasegun Odunigba. Of course, I would be doing a proper introduction about myself. But first things, we need to understand why we are here, what we are doing today, so that you are sure that you are in the right class or you are in the right session. I myself, I was in the session that Mr. Oluwaseyi took, and it was very inspiring. It was really eye-opening, and I'm glad I joined in. And so this other session is for Microsoft Power Platform Functional Consultants. And the course code for that is PL200. So if you are interested in taking the PL200 course, it's very important that you know the title, the course title, and the course code. I think there was a little mistake on the flyer. So I think it read PL300. So I just wanted to correct that so that we can have that at the back of our.
Yeah, thank you so much. So it will be corrected subsequently in our subsequent flyer. The 300 will be changed to 200. Okay. Thank you.
So because 300 is data analytics, Power BI.
Power BI, yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. So without wasting much of our time, my name is Oluwasegun Odunigba, and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I have trained in a few, of course, relatively to other trainers that have been taking us in sessions. I'm still a small boy, and I've been in the business intelligence field for, of course, a couple of years, as you can see on my slide. I've trained a few people also in soft skills, Power Apps, Automates, SQL, and other office tools. So that's that about myself. Of course, I have a few certifications to show for that. So, of course, we'll not have much time to go over introducing one another, but I am seeing the class at the moment. And if you have any question or if you need my attention on anything, please feel free to call my attention. and then I will be able to answer your question or address whatever concerns you have. Also, I'd like to say that if you have any question during the class, just raise up your hand or give me an emoji or a sign. I would be seeing I'm currently seeing the class so that I can take notes. If I'm going too fast, please draw me back. If I'm too slow, you can tell me, please speed it up. And of course, Anna is always there to put me in check wherever is needed. So for what we have today, of course, I explained already earlier that our course is Power Platform Functional Consultants. And as a Power Platform Functional Consultant, it's important that you understand how the Power Platform works. So Microsoft has dedicated this course to us to be able to see and understand the sphere of the Microsoft Power Platform, or the body of the Microsoft Power Platform, what it contains and how it functions. So that's why you are going to be a functional consultant. And if you are willing to take this course, of course, the course code is PL200, and you have most of the course content of what I'll be teaching us today on the Microsoft Learn website. So you can go to learn.microsoft.com and you will see the course content for PL200. If you do not have Microsoft account or a Learn account, you can sign in or sign up for one, and you have access. You don't have to pay. You understand? So you have access to all Microsoft learning materials, including this particular one that we are having today. So we'll be talking about the introduction. What is the Microsoft Power Platform? Of course, we are going to be looking at Power Apps today, and we'll be understanding Power Apps, what Power Apps is. But before we go into Power Apps, there are some things that we need to understand. We need to understand that Power Apps is a subset of the bigger body, which is the Power Platform. And so we all, or most of us, are familiar with the Power BI. And so you will see that the prefix to most of these things has power. You know, one of my teachers will say it means that they are powerful applications. So we have the Power Apps, the Power Automate, the Power BI, you know, the Copilot Studio. It used to be Power Virtual Agents and is now changed to Copilot Studio. And all of that, we'll be exploring that, and we'll be understanding their significance or their impact on the environment or the Power Platform in total. So we'll be talking about an environment. So what is an environment? We'll be talking about a solution. So what is a solution as well? So all of this is what we'll be talking about today. So the introduction, we have the Power Platform. What is the Power Platform? Basically, the Power Platform is an environment or is a platform that has or that encapsulates powerful applications that gives us solutions to business problems. So we have some different spheres or different applications that are available on the Power Platform. And today we are dedicating it to Power Apps, which is the one that we have here. Power Apps. We have Power Automate. We have the Power BI that most of us know. We have the Power Virtual Pages and the Copilot Studio. So Power Apps basically is used to create business applications. So I will still go into the Power Apps properly. So I just want us to have an overview or a quick overview about this particular, what's it called, platform itself, and explain, or like I explained. And finally, we have the Dataverse. Dataverse is the one that has or that stores the metadata for all of the applications, or that's the data storage area where the storage of the data, the logic processing, and all of that is carried out or happens on the Power Platform. So you can say the Dataverse is majorly the data center for the Power Platform. So that being said, we want to talk about an environment. What is an environment? An environment basically is a space where you have to store, to manage, and share your organization's data, your apps, your flows, and your users. What that means is that you have your organization, and in this particular scenario, it's called a tenant. So whenever you see tenant, it's talking about the organization or the organization's name. And when you are introduced, or when you come into the Power Platform environment, you need to have a tenant. The tenant is your organization's identity. And so when you have your organization's tenant or your tenant name, then you can have environments, because we need to understand what environment is. And as we can all see that as it's here, we have every environment having their different Power Platform applications. So you can see the Power Apps, the Power Automate, and the Common Data Model storage. So what that means is that you cannot have your Power Apps without having an environment. That's basically it. So that's why I'm trying to understand or explain to us what an environment is. An environment is your space where you can manage your applications, your automations, your websites, your chatbots. All of that is going to be in your environment. So that being said, what are the types of environments that we have? So for different for different purposes, we have different kinds of environments. I would be, of course, I already have my own environment. So I will be taking us through creation of a new environment before the end of this class. Of course, the class it will be interactive, and I will also be taking or going through the demo as well. So during the course of the class, I'll be doing some demos so that we can actually understand better the environment types, and so on and so forth. I'll probably also create an environment for us in this particular class. So not to worry, that will be sorted out as well. So the first type of environment here is the default environment. So when we say a default environment, is an environment that's created automatically when you log in or when you have your Power Apps login. So I'll be showing us how to log in for those that do not have a Power Apps or prior knowledge of Power Apps to this class. We'll be going to the Power Apps homepage. We'll be logging in to the Power Apps homepage, and we'll be looking at what an environment is and how the applications are being stored, and in how they interact in the environment. So just please, if I'm going too fast, let me know. So the default environment, basically, all licensed users, as long as you have a Power Platform or a Microsoft 365 license, you have access to your default environment. It's automatically created. But as a Power Platform functional consultant, I will tell you that this environment, please do not use it to do your work. It is just there for you to have a scape or a view of the environment so that you can create your own environment. So the default environment is there. It comes with your tenants, and when you log in or when you create your login and you have your new login, the default environment is always there by default. That's what it means. So the next one is called the production environment. So the production environment basically is there for publishing of your application. So when you are done developing your application and everything, you are good to go. You are ready to publish or make your application live. You now take your application and dump it in the production environment, and it is going to be available company-wide. Now, it's very important to note, I was teaching somewhere and they were asking me, Power Apps, the application and everything, can we download it to our phone? Can we see it on Google Play? And I would like to explain a very simple concept to us when we are talking about Power Apps. It's very important to understand that the applications that we'll be creating with Power Apps are not applications that you will be downloading on Play Store. Why? Because most of those applications are built based on company data. And for security purposes, it's very important, it's expedient that it is housed within a secure environment so that your company's data would not be lost or would not be used by a third party or a competitor. So it's very important to understand that applications that we'll be creating using Power Apps are used within the tenant or within the environment. Very, very important. Please, it is not an application to for fun, or it's business applications that we are creating with the Power Apps. So having said that, the production environment is there for us to publish our applications and make use of it. Of course, you have full control over it as the owner of the environment. The next one is the sandbox. So the sandbox environment is used for development and testing. So you just use it to develop your application and test your application, see how it is working. If it's working fine, if there's the need for any work to be done on the application, you can come back to it and tweak whatever you need to tweak before publishing it to your production environment. Of course, the other one is the trial environment. So trial environment is just for short-term testing. So you just use it to test your applications, or for a period of 30 days. Automatically, it gets deleted. So if you are creating a trial environment, that is what will happen. And then the developer environment is special, intended for use by the owner. And this developer environment, you always have limited control. So you have limited control. That's where you do most of the development of your applications. So you don't just dive into creating applications without knowing the kind of environment that you are supposed to work with. So if you don't know the environment that you are supposed to use or that you are supposed to work with, you would err, and you would not properly utilize the Power Apps platform. So the next one is the Dataverse for Teams. Of course, there's ability for Teams or collaboration to create an application in Microsoft Teams. So being in a Teams meeting, you can easily create applications, and it's going to automatically create an environment for that particular purpose that you have done that creation for. So, of course, the default environment, like I said, is automatically created for you when you sign up for Power Apps or Dynamics 365. So you don't make use of it, please. It's just for you to be able to see and have access to create your own environment. So that being said, we have the developer environment, and this is the one that we'll be making use of. That's why we are showing us the developer environment. So in the developer environment, you don't need a paid license, and you can still explore all the capabilities of the Power Platform. Of course, you can. It doesn't consume much space, so you can use that, and you can use it for production purposes. So basically, it's very important to understand that your developer environment is there for you for developmental purposes. And when you are done developing, please transfer your application to a production environment. So in your production environment, that is when your application can operate and you can go around using your application. If there is a need for an upgrade to your application, you can, in your developer environment, add the updates to the application and publish it. And when you publish it, it will automatically make the change that you have published to the production environment. And so you will have your newest version of your application. It will reflect, and it will tell all the users of that application that there's a new version of this particular application, and please, you need to update the version, and it will automatically update it. So that's how the developer, production, and the sandbox trial environment work. So I hope I've been able to lay a solid foundation, or at least somehow you should be able to understand what an environment is and how they function or how they work. So I mentioned to us already, of course, we'll be seeing this momentarily. I'll be changing from the slide to the live demo so that we can all see that and we can all understand what we are doing. So I would not want to waste much time doing that. So, sorry. Okay. So now we have the data verse. Data verse basically is the data store where you can store data in your environment. So for every environment, you can choose to have a data verse and you can choose to not have a data verse. Of course, for most environments, data verse is always paid. So you pay for the data verse. Of course, this is where you can add a database. If you have created an environment before and you don't or you didn't include a data verse, you can come back later to your environment and you will see this. You will see where you have created your environment and you can decide to add your data verse store to it. Or if you are creating it at the beginning, you can just add your data verse directly and your data verse will be added to that particular environment automatically. So that's very, very important to note. So this is the interface for creating an environment. And you can see where the name of your environment, you put your name, the region, the type of environment. This is a drop down where you can drop down and you see the different types of environment that I just explained to us now. And then the purpose of the environment. What are you using the environment to do? And do you want to add a data verse store? If you mistakenly click no and create your environment, you can come back, just like I told us in the previous slide, and you can add a data verse store. But for the sake of this one, of course, we'll be adding a data verse store to that. And so for every environment that you created, you are the administrator of that particular environment. So that's basically, it's very important for you to know that you are the admin for your environment. So of course, there are security groups. So you can restrict the access of members or to your environment. So you can create a security group and assign a security group within an environment. But when you are using a developer environment, it's very important. You can't do that. So when you are in your production environment, you can assign security group that so and so person are in this security group, and they can have access to this application, and these people do not have access to the application. It's very, very easy and important. So next, we'll be talking about a solution. What is a solution? We are going to do all of that now. But before we go into what a solution is, I would like to quickly go, let me share my other screen so that I can, so for this, you can all see my screen. Now, in order to be able to access Power Apps, if you are new to Power Apps, the website to access Power Apps is make.powerapps.com. So make.powerapps.com. I will put it in the chat now so that we can all see that. Make.powerapps.com. And then if you need to register, you can add, it will tell you need to register. If you have a Microsoft 365 license, you can easily log in with your Microsoft account. If you have a Microsoft account, log in with your Microsoft account and you'll be brought to your Power Apps homepage. If not, you can go to make.powerapps.com. If you don't have a license, you can have a trial. You can opt to have a trial version of the Microsoft 365 plan. And then when you do that, I think it's 60 days or thereabout. I'm not sure. But if you have your account, you can practicalize what we are doing together. So that is basically what we have here. So this is the home page. And when I was talking about environments, you can see at the top here, I have environments here, and there is always the default environment, but this is my environment that I have created, Segun environment. This is where I do all of my work. So all my environment, if I go to Power Automate also, Segun environment is available. My data vast and everywhere, it is all in my environment. Now, what I've talked about, how to create an environment, how do we do that? So, of course, there's the Power Platform here. This is the Power Apps homepage. I will come back to this homepage to explain this better to us, but this is the Power Platform homepage, and there is what we call the Power Platform Admin Center. Of course, you can see the other applications that are under the Power Platform. Like I said to us, we are currently in Power Apps. And since we are in Power Apps, if you need to switch from Power Apps to Power Automate, all you need to do is click on the Power Platform button here. It will show you all the other applications that are in the Power Platform. So that's very easy. You see, you can see the seamless integrations that are the switching, easy to switch from one application to another. And because you are still within your environment. So that's very, very important to note that as long as you are in your environment, you can switch between applications, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Pages, or Copilot Studio. All of that, you can switch and you are still inside your environment. You are just using another application within your environment, and all of them are connected to your Dataverse database. So if you need to store any data, you can store them in your Dataverse database. So for creating our environment, we want to create a new environment now. How do we do that? We need to go. I told us that for your environment, you are the administrator. And so being the administrator of your environment, you have an admin center where you administer all the items or all the things that is needed for your environment to function. So when I click on the admin center, of course, it will take us to the Power Platform admin center where we can see, where we can see that in action. So I'm waiting for that to load up the Power Platform admin center. Sorry. So I'm waiting for that. Of course, my admin center is getting loaded up. Okay. So we can see the admin center. Of course, this is the new admin center. Power Platform is always doing upgrades from time to time. But please, I'm used to the old admin center. I like to switch off old admin at the new admin center. Of course, if you need, you can see try. No, I don't, not now, sorry. So you can see try the new admin center. So there's an old admin center. They claim it's easier to navigate using the new admin center, but this is the one I used to learn. So it's easy for me to navigate around the old admin center. So you can see it's telling me welcome with my name to show that I'm currently in my administrative office to administer environments and other resources that are in my environment. So we are on the home page and you can see all the notifications that are available to you, the recommendations for my center, and analytics, the security actions that you need to take in your center. So basically, this is your office in the Power Platform environment. So you can see all of that. I honestly don't really read or come here, I must confess. So, of course, if you need to create a new environment, come to environments. So you can see the environments that I have created, all the environments that I've created here. So I am an admin, so I need to create a new environment. This is the environment that I want to create. So for the sake of this class, I want to say data AI ini. Sorry, data AI ini. So this is going to be data AI. Okay, initiative. Let me put initiative. So this is data AI initiative. So it's asking, do I want to make this a managed environment? No. What is a managed environment? Basically, it's an environment that you don't need to create or you don't need to do any other thing again. All you need is for the environment to be running on its own. So it is managed. But an unmanaged environment, on the other hand, is an environment that things are not running on automatically. So you are still making changes to the stuffs or the items inside that environment. That's what an unmanaged environment is. So it's not compulsory you choose a group. But for the sake of this class, we are going to be leaving the region as Europe. Of course, Dataverse knows your location and it will be able to know, you will see what I'm talking about in the next interface. So the type of environment, like I mentioned to us, we are going to be using a developer environment. You can see all the other environments, the production environment. That's why I said before you go into your environment, you need to know what is this environment for. So if you know what the environment is for, it will make you understand the kind of environment that you want to create. So we are not creating a trial environment or a production environment. We want to create a developer environment. So you can describe the purpose for the environment for teaching, data, and AI skill, initiative, class. So we have created an environment, and then of course we are not doing it on behalf of anybody. Of course, it has automatically added a Dataverse store. So you can see add a Dataverse store. It has said yes. So every developer environment always have Dataverse. You can see Dataverse must be added for the selected type. If I choose a different environment, it will give you the option whether you want to add it. You can see Sandbox is saying, do you want to add? So it's optional for a sandbox environment. For a production environment, it's also optional. But for a developer environment, it is automatic. It will add it for you. So that done, we are going to the next phase where you can see it has automatically detected my location and the currency of my location. And you want to deploy sample apps and data? Yes. So there are some sample apps and data that come with the with Dataverse. So it's very important. You can use them to learn. You can use them to understand how some of all these things work. And when we are done with that, we can say save. What will it do? Is going to create our environment for us. And now that the environment is going to be created, I'm waiting for that environment. You can see data AI initiative environment. And it is saying that the state of the environment is what? Is preparing. So the Dataverse, of course, is currently showing no, but not to worry. It will show us yes once it is fully prepared. And if there's any other thing that needs to be seen, you can see the date is being created on, and the time is created 5:34 p.m. and today's date and the last activity. So everything that we are seeing here, we are understanding, and it's very important to understand that you can have as many as 3 developer environments for your own account, for every account that you have, and you can have, I think, one production environment. I would need to confirm that, but you can have more than one environment. You can have 2, 3, 4 environments in your tenant or in your with your subscription. You can have as many as those environments. So I would, since this is taking a little bit of time, I would like to refresh that. And now you can see the environment is ready with a Dataverse store. So now that we are done with our environment and it is ready, I can now come back. Please, if you have any question, you can just ask your question and I will Okay, let me see if there's any question. Okay, so okay, I don't think this is okay. So please, if you have any question, Anna, please, I need your eyes here. All right. So now we are back in the Power Apps, make.powerapps.com. Haven't created our environment, and our environment is ready. We need to come back to Power Apps, and let me quickly refresh that for us. So when I refresh that, you will see it's currently in the last environment, which is Segun environment, but I want to use the environment I just created, Data AI Initiative environment. You can see that, and now it's going to load our new environment that we just created for us. So this is our environment, Data AI Initiative. It has been loaded for us, and the sample apps, like I said, we have some sample apps, model-driven apps. We are going to explain what the model-driven app and other things is to us. So, of course, we have learning. You need to learn and understand what the Power Apps is about. There are some other things that you need to understand. How do you go about this? How do you do this? How do you do that in your environment? You can see that here, and you can understand it better, and you can get insights within Power Apps or within the Power Platform. You can read, and sometimes the videos are always available. So here is to show you all the applications that you have created. So if there's any application that you are creating or that you have created, it will automatically show you that application here and when it was created. So there is a new feature here where you can create a plan to build a solution. So in the last slide, let me come back to my slide. In the last slide, I talked about solution, and I will try to explain what a solution is. So let me quickly do that. Sorry. Okay, so let me stop sharing this. So I'm back to my slide. Let me share my other slide to us. So please, I've just talked about environments. Please, if you have any question about environments, it's very important that you explain or you ask your question, and I'll be able to answer your question. So now we want to talk about a solution. Yes, we want to talk about a solution. So what is a solution? Sorry, I'm trying to bring up this particular, yes. Okay, so we're talking about a solution. What is a solution? So a solution basically is a container of Power Platform components. So when I say a solution, we are talking about all our Power Platform components, the Power Apps, the Power Automates, flows, the chatbots, and all those things. They are all able to reside inside an envelope called a solution. I'm going to use the word envelope because it will take all those things one after the other, it will pack them for you, and it will put them inside a transportable envelope. So when I said you develop in a developer environment and you take it to a production environment, that carrier that allows you to transport your items or your application from the developer environment to the test environment is called a solution. So the solution, you put your app, you build your app, you put it in the solution, you build your automation, you put it in the solution, you build your flows or your Power Pages or your chatbots, you put it in the solution. all those components, all those things, you don't need to leave it scattered across your environment. So solution is like filing your projects. So imagine you are working for a company like maybe Coca-Cola, and you're also working for Pepsi, and you are creating applications and automations and all those things for both companies, and you don't want to give Coca-Cola Pepsi's work, or you don't want to mix them. You can easily archive your items in like envelopes called a solution. So the solution will be named with the particular project name. So for instance, we are going to create a solution now so that we can understand better what I'm talking about. So your solution will be carrying the exact name of that particular project. And inside the solution, you have all the components of that particular project. So that when you are done with it in your developer environment, you can take the entire solution without leaving any components, and then you transport everything to a new environment where it will be deployed. So that's why I needed to explain to us what environment is, the types of environments, before going into the the transportation of those items, which is the solution. Okay, Shitu, I think you have a question. Shitu, Let me mute Shitu. I think Shitu's mic is unmuted. Okay, so that means, sorry about that. So I think we all understand what a solution is, and it's there for us to transport what customizations from one environment to another. So basically, it's there for us as a safe carrier, so that when you are done developing in one environment, you can easily take it into another environment and deploy it there. So that's what a solution is. And if you need to create a new solution, it's very easy. Within 3 minutes, we'll create a new solution, and we'll get that done. So we are going to create our solution also during the course of this class. But in order to understand what creating a solution is, we need to understand the interface. Just like how we created our environment, it's almost the same thing. So if you want to create a solution, it's going to ask you for the name of the solution, and then the publisher. What's the publisher? Basically is to give your solution or your object a particular name, so that you can know who created what item. So that in your environment, you can distinguish the things that you have created from the things that other people have created. So it's like customization. That's what a publisher is. It's customizing your components. And then, of course, the version number, it will ask you for the version number to track all your updates. So that is what a solution is. Of course, within a solution, you can have all the components. You see apps. So this is how the environment looks like. So within your solution, you can have your Power Apps. You can have your chatbots. You can have your Power Automate cloud flows or any other cloud flow. And you can have your Dataverse tables inside your solution. So when you create your application, you create your automation, you create everything, they are all inside your solution. And you can create your new component in your solution, or you can add previously existing components. You can add them from outside the solution and bring them into your newly created solution. So let me quickly see if I can create one solution for us. So before we go on to that, so let me share my other screen so that we can see that in action. Please confirm that you can see my new screen. Of course, I believe that we can see my screen. So as we were saying, a solution. So this is our environment. We all understand what the environment is. Now we want to create our solution. If you look at the right-hand side here, or the left-hand side, you see a tab called solutions. So we click on solutions and it takes us to where we have the current solutions in your environment. So you can see the environment. At the moment, you can see the default solution and this other solution. So these are default solution. And when we're creating our environment, you remember that we said our environment is unmanaged. And you can see the icon here. It's showing that there's a pencil. So that means you can actually edit the components of this environment. But if it's going to be showing managed, it means it is locked and you cannot edit the components of that particular environment. It is just there for playing purposes, not for editing purposes. That's basically what it means. And so you can look at the top here, you can see new solution. So if you need to create a new solution, when you are in your environment, you come to solutions and you can click on new solution. It will pop up that particular interface for us where we can see the solution name. I need someone to just unmute and give me a solution name, please. Any solution name for a project. Anybody? Just unmute your mic.
Meeting room management.
Sir?
Meeting room management.
Okay, meeting room. Thank you very much. Management. So you can see what just happened. We have created a solution name, which is the display name is meeting room management. But if you notice here, you will see that the name here has no space. It has removed the space. This is the schema name for our solution. It is not wrong. That is how the solution or name is going to be stored. It's better that way so as to avoid confusion within the environment. That's how Dataverse stores the schema name. Now, the next thing is publisher. We are saying, okay, within this solution, you can have different publishers. We want to know who created what. That is what a publisher is. So in this particular environment, there are already some default publishers, but we need to have a new publisher. So I clicked on new publisher. It says publisher indicates who developed associated solutions. That's basically what it is. So the display name for this publisher would be Data Captain. So Data Captain, and the schema name, of course, we can use the same Data Captain. So I don't want to add the description, that's not a problem. So the prefix that all your objects that you'll be creating inside this particular solution will carry before. So you're going to be creating tables, it will carry data, what's Data Captain? So let's say DCPT. So Data Captain, I just customized it, DCPT. And what it's saying is that this is the preview of the object name, that whenever all over my environment, if I see DCPT underscore the object, it might be a table, it might be an application, it might be an automation, a flow, whatever. If I see DCPT at the front of it, I already know who created that particular object. So that's what that means. So when I'm done with this, I can click on save. It will automatically add that new publisher to our publisher interface. So now you can see the Data Captain publisher has been loaded here already. So this is my solution. So if I click on create, what will it do? It will automatically create that solution for me. So I'm waiting for that solution to be loaded up. And now we can see my solution. Please, we are inside our solution. The meeting room management solution that we just created, this is it. So we are currently showing all the items that are inside my solution. Sorry, and because this is a new solution, we don't have anything inside our solution. You can add an existing application, automation, card, dashboard, anything, site, table, you can add it from outside this solution. So if you have mistakenly started building your application outside the solution, you can call that application into this solution and say, please, all my applications are scattered. I need to organize them. I need to arrange them properly. How do I arrange these things properly? How do I organize them so that it will be easy for me to track and make necessary modifications or corrections where is needed? You can easily add the existing item into this solution, or you can create a new item. So you want to create your application or your automation or anything, as long as you are in your solution, you can create all of that inside your solution, and it will show automatically here that this is your solution and you have this, and this in your solution. So I would like to stop sharing that particular screen, and I want to ask if anyone has any question. You can easily ask your question and let us discuss before I go on to the next aspects that are what I have for us. So any question, please? I'm waiting.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
The agents part in the solution, is that for Microsoft Copilot chatbots?
Yes, that's for the Copilot. So if you create your Copilot, that's where you see the agents.
Okay, so can the agents interact with data that is collected in like a Canvas app that is in that same solution?
Thank you very much. Yes, it can actually interact with your application directly. So you can use it to interact with anything. When you are creating your Copilot agents, it's very important to understand that you are giving your Copilot a data source, a database. So if you need your Copilot to interact with your app, you can attach your Copilot to your application or to your database. It will automatically be looking at your database or your app. So whenever you ask any question about that particular application, your Copilot can give you the response, because the database or the data source is looking at the database or the Power App already. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. So one more. So you said the Copilot can use the data and everything in the app. What if you don't use Dataverse for the creation of your app? Maybe like there's already an existing SharePoint list that they require you to use as like sort of the backend for the application, and it's like a Canvas app, and then it's like a solution. Will your Copilot be able to use your SharePoint list and the Canvas app while it's in that solution? That solution area that you just showed us and everything, like will it be fine, or do you have to use Dataverse? Like do you have to transfer the SharePoint data into Dataverse?
Okay, Toluwanimi, you are very enlightening. Thank you very much. I understand your question. Now, when you are creating your chatbot, of course, that is another this is entirely. But let me just use my knowledge to answer that question. Your chatbot, if you do not put the data source in your chatbot cannot know outside your data source. So if you have your data source in SharePoint, it's not compulsory that your chatbot is inside the same environment as your database. Do you understand? So you can easily, when you are creating your chatbot, you can connect it to your SharePoint list. All you have to do is give permission to the chatbot that it will ask for permission to connect to your SharePoint list, and it will be able to look into your SharePoint list to get the data or the insights that you want it to get. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Is there any other question? Okay. So I don't see any other question. So thank you very much, Toluwanimi. I think you have a little knowledge on the Power Apps or Power Platform itself. So please, if any other person has any other question, you can feel free to ask me, and I will be able to answer your question. So like I have said already, like Tolua asked, it's not compulsory that your chatbot is inside the same solution. Solution is just like a carrier, it's a transport bus. Do you understand? To transport all the particular customizations from one point to another. It doesn't mean that they are, of course, they are not physically always located there, but it is just to create a copy of that particular item and take it to another place. So that being said, your co-pilots or your chatbots that you create, you can connect it to any data source, as long as you are going to give the data source permission for the co-pilot to look into it. So your co-pilot will be able to look into your data source and give you insight on that. I hope that is clear enough. So let me quickly delve into Power Apps itself. So we have been looking at the environment. We have been able to understand what an environment is. We have been able to understand what a solution is. And the next thing that I want to look at is the Power Apps properly. So we already understand what we know Power BI is used for business analytics. We already know that Power Apps, like I'm saying, is used for application development. Power Automate is used for workflow automation. Of course, Power Pages for business websites. And then the Copilot Studio are used to create intelligent virtual agents. And like I just said, the Dataverse is where most of this data is stored. The data connectors, however, are used to transport data between the components of the Power Platform. So if you need to transport data from Power BI to Power Automate, there's a data connector for that. If you need to transfer from Power BI to your pages, there's a data connector. If you need to transfer from Copilot to Power Apps, there's a data connector for that. So all these are interconnected with the help of the data connectors. So there are plenty, there's a lot of data connectors available within the Power Platform. So like I said, it is a platform that has a lot of standalone applications, but they are interconnected. And what is causing or allowing that connection is the data connectors. And on my page here, we have the AI Builder. The AI Builder basically is used to build artificial intelligence applications or services. So the AI Builder, you need to build an application that can scan a particular item, or you need to build an application that can do one thing, do another thing. It's very important to understand that the AI Builder is there to help us carry that out. So when we are talking about Power Apps, we need to know that it helps us to build fully functioning applications with low code or no code. That means you don't really need to understand how to code before you can use Power Apps. Is someone asking a question?
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. I didn't know. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now. Thank you very much. So you can see my screen. Of course, this is my my previous page. I was talking about the data connectors. I'm so sorry about that. So I was saying, of course, this is the only slide that I've gone through, that the Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Pages, and Copilot Studio, all of them are interconnected, and they are interconnected with the use of the data connector. So data connector allows all this interconnectivity between the Power Platform applications. And then the AI Builder is there to help us to build AI services or software. So you need to scan a document, or you need to build a particular, you are building an app, you can add an AI Builder component into your application. So you can add a barcode scanner into your application. You can add a map into your application. So different things, when you are building your application, you have capabilities of adding artificial intelligence components into your application. It is allowed. So, like I was saying, that there are Power Apps, you can use it on your web, your mobile. And please, 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 I need you to understand that the Power Platform is sitting on the Azure infrastructure. So that means the Power Platform is needing, or it needs cloud storage in order to function. So you need an internet to be able to access the Power Platform, or by extension, the Power Apps. So if you don't have an internet connection, you cannot access. It's not like an application that you download on your local computer to use. You need an active internet to always be able to access the Power Apps whenever you want to work on Power Apps. And you can publish to your different what's it called, devices, your Apple, your Android, your Windows, and so on and so forth. And it's easy to share your application. So when you are done creating your application, you can easily share your application to other people in your environment. So you can also manage your application across the environment. That being said, we have two major types of Power Apps. We have the Canvas app and we have the model-driven app. So what is the Canvas app? Canvas app, as the name implies, basically it gives you like a painting canvas. It gives you a plain field where you can now start adding your components: gallery, button, form, rectangle, text, map, video, all those things. You are going to be given the plain canvas and you'll be allowed to express yourself. So if you're a very good UI designer, user interface, you can easily make your application as beautiful as you want. You can design your application and then, people can look at it and say, I love the interface of this application. So those that understand or know UI, UX, user interface, user experience, you can bring all that knowledge into Power Apps. It helps you and you'll be able to understand and work properly with Power Apps. So you have full control over the application's design. So you have the plain canvas and you can drag your components. You don't have to be coding and putting position. Of course, it's available. You can use your code or your XY values to position your components properly if you know their values. But it's easy for you to just click and drag items from one place to another on your canvas, on your design canvas. And of course, you can have data from over 700 data sources. So like Toluwa was saying, your SharePoint, you can get data into Power Apps to build an application with the data in your SharePoint site. You can build an application with Excel, data in Excel. You connect to the data in Excel. You can connect to a website, the data in a website, and build an application based on that data. You can connect to Dataverse, where I said we can store our data in our platform environment. You can connect to different SQL. You can connect to SQL Server. It will look into the SQL Server and it will bring the data from there. On and on, you have various data sources where you can connect your Canvas app and it will allow you to bring in the application or the data from wherever you are connecting to. On the other hand, the model-driven app basically only connects to the Microsoft Dataverse. So it does not connect to more than one data source, which is the Dataverse. So that is that. And it does not allow you to design. So all the ones that you'll be designing on your Canvas app and you'll be clicking, dragging, putting this one, the model-driven is based on a data model. It already has its own interface, static interface for everybody that is building. All it needs is, please give me your data. I will build the application based on that data that you are giving to me, and I will design the application based on that particular data that you have given to me. So that's what a model-driven app basically is. So that's what it does. So it automatically does what? It automatically builds the application based on a data model. Oyedamola, please check your camera. All right. So the applications that you build is very responsive. So it can be used across different devices. So your mobile device, it will automatically rescale itself to your mobile device. It will automatically rescale itself to your laptop or your iPad or any device that you are making use of. Your model-driven app will be able to easily scale itself to fit that particular screen or that particular device that you have put it on. So basically, you can use your device on you can use your app on any device. So of course, there's also a mobile version. Okay, Toluwani, you have a question?
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
you said mobile driven can scale it to any screen size from mobile
Yes.
to desktop to everything. But
Yes.
you know how mobile screens are so different that we might have to remove some elements
Yes.
in your feature, but you know that the mobile driven can also not say we can't really design or edit this thing because it's working on a
Yes.
specific data model. But like
Yes.
on the canvas, you know, we would have to use what's it called, these containers things, and in the containers you can define and remove certain features depending on what
The size, inside.
device the thing
Yes.
is on. So like
Yes.
my question is, how is the model driven able to replicate that process? Like, does it intuitively remove features, or does it just forcibly just press everything together?
Okay. So you asked a very wonderful question, and truthfully, the model-driven, that is why you are not allowed to create your components, because the model-driven already has created a responsive container such that it automatically rescales by itself to any screen. So when I say design, basically model-driven application doesn't have much design, beautiful UI components per se. What it has basically is header and a form or a view. Do you understand? So it is just going to do what? Rescale the header and rescale the form or the view to whatever size of screen it is taking. But in the case of the Canvas app, you have to know the size of your what's it called? Your application screen in your mind from the onset. So it is done automatically. To answer your question, Tiolua, it is done automatically. It automatically takes cognizance of the screen that is being displayed on, and it automatically does what? Rescale itself to fit. I hope you know that there are websites that are responsive, fully responsive. Those that build websites, you call your website, you say it's fully responsive. That means if you open it on a laptop, it will take the shape or the space of a laptop. You see the long bar, the full page and everything. And if you open that same website on your mobile phone, it will automatically take the space of a mobile phone and you'll be seeing the same things rescaled properly. The model driven is also like that. It will automatically rescale everything properly for you, such that you don't need to bother yourself about resizing anything. That's why it does not give you control over the design. It has done the design itself, and it is able to fix the dimension to fit any screen and every screen that it is being displayed on. So that's basically to answer your question. It does it automatically. So all it needs is, please give me your data. and it will automatically build the app for you, and you can interact with the app on any device. So I hope that answers your question, Chelua.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So basically, if I like to explain Canva, okay, Theodora, you have a question.
Yeah, I want to ask this Canvas app. Is it the same as this canvas.com that people used to do designs and all those stuff?
Okay, that's a very wonderful one. Thank you very much. Okay, so Theodora, it is not the same. However, they share the same, what's it called? The same concept. So it's just like saying Facebook and which other app do we have? Instagram. You can call them social media. Do you understand? So the Canva, canva.com, there's also another one called Poster My Wall. It's also used to design, graphics design. Do you get that? So Canva is there, but they are sharing somehow the same nomenclature, the same naming. So that's basically it. Canva is there for graphics design. The Canvas app, because of the type of application it is, it gives you a design canvas to design your item. So that's why Microsoft named it that way, so that you know that you have a design. You know, just like the artists, they have a canvas, a design canvas where they bring their paintbrush, they start to paint on the canvas. So that is the similitude here, such that you are having your canvas and you are able to design anything that you want to design on your canvas, on your designing canvas. That's why it is like that. So it is just like a similitude in naming system. It's not the same. They are not connected anyway, in any way. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So if any other person has any question, please feel free. I think I have about 15 to 20 more minutes. So I'm going to do a quick demo, but I just want to quickly finish my slide before we go into that. So like I used to say, I used to tell people, you can create your application easily if you know how to use Excel and PowerPoint. Canvas app is almost like, using Excel and PowerPoint together in one application. Why? Because the formulas, I told us it is a low code, no code environment. So it means that if you are conversant with Excel formula system or Excel formulas, it's easy for you to also understand Power Apps formulas. It's like English. So it's not difficult. It's not all those very difficult, complex coding that will be coding Python day and night and you'll be sweating inside the AC. No, Power Apps or Power Platform has a very simple, easy to understand coding system. So if you can use PowerPoint, you know, the way we insert shapes in PowerPoint and the way we give those shapes properties, color it, give it outline, give it thickness, give it this, give it that. That is how your Power Apps Canvas app is also in design. And by functionality, the way we have our Excel, that we will say, okay, calculate this, do this, and all of that. That is how the formula or the user experience interface also is. It's very easy, and we'll see that momentarily. So you see, you can start your design with a blank screen or a canvas. So that's basically what it means. And when you are done or you are ready, you can connect your app to a data. So you can connect your data to whatever app you are building, and it will automatically show you that. Of course, I already explained to us what connectors are. So basically, we have connection. What are connectors? Basically, it is a connection between a Power Platform service and another service or another system. So that's what a connector is. So whenever we are talking about Power Platform, carrying of data from one system to another, or one service to another, or one software to another, it needs connectors to be able to connect them together to carry out that data transfer. So that's what that means. And according to this, we have over 1,000 connections. So we have some connectors are on Microsoft's application, and some are third party. That means they are non-Microsoft. You can connect your Power Platform to, let's say, Twitter. It's a non-Microsoft company. But there's a connector in Power Platform that can connect from your Power Platform to Twitter, to Gmail, to Yahoo Mail, and Facebook. All those places, those are third-party connectors, and they are available in your Microsoft. That's why I used to say Microsoft is giving you all the options. You know, they don't want you to go out to go and be looking for other options. They have provided it for you, and it's there for our use. So if you need to do something within your Gmail, you don't have to leave your Power Platform. From Power Platform, you can connect to Gmail or to any other service. And of course, you definitely have to give your permission or consent for that to happen. So all of that, there are triggers, there are connectors and actions that are available when building our application. Of course, these are some of the very popular connectors that are in our platform. You can see some of them. We have the Office Outlook, we have SharePoint, OneDrive, Forms, Planner, Teams. So these are your data storage, Outlook.com, and so on and so forth. You can see these are just some of them. So if you need to create a connection from one item to another, the connector for that particular, you can see SQL Server, you can see Power BI, you can see Azure DevOps. So all these connectors are there, one after the other, to help us to connect. So you can use any of the connectors that are already available on the platform, or you can create your own custom connectors. So you can get to a point that you already understand the platform properly, and you know how to create connectors, and you can create your own connectors. And there are types of connectors. We have the standard connector, we have the premium connector, and we have the preview connector. The standard connectors, they come with your environment. So the standard connectors are there already. Once you create your environment, it comes with a standard connector. The premium connector, however, they are the ones that do not automatically come with your environment. They are available, but you need to pay to have them. So that is what the premium connector is. You need to pay to have them. Then there's the preview connectors. Those ones are there for testing purposes. So Microsoft will just bring out a new connector and they'll say, okay, please make use of it for a while. See how effective it is. Is it okay? They will need your feedback on those connectors and how effective those connectors are. So the licensing is based on the connectors used in the application. So based on your connector or based on your Microsoft license, the kind of connector that you have is based on the license that you have. So of course you can build your Canvas app using low code experience, just like in Excel and PowerPoint. And you have full control over the application design. And you can build as many applications as you want. Tioluwa, you have a question?
Yeah, for the custom, you said we could, on your previous slide, you said we could build custom connectors.
Yes.
Yeah, can we, when you say like that, like, can we, let's say I build an app in VS Code and I launch the app on my own physical PC. As I use my own physical PC as a server to like host the app. Can I connect that application with like a connector?
Precisely. So if you have your application and you've hosted it on maybe a server that is not in Microsoft already, it's not among the Microsoft connectors. So you search and you can't find a connector that is connecting to your current server or your current service. You can decide to build a new connector from Microsoft that, please, I want to build a new connector, and you just get the server name, the IP address, and all those things for your server or for your service. and you input it into your new connector such that it will create that, it will establish that connection from your Power Platform connector, from Power Platform to your office service or to your office connector. That's what it means when I say you are building your connector. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So if any other person has a question, we just have about a few more minutes. I would like to, of course, we are almost done with my slide. So you can have Power Apps in all these applications. You can have them in Teams. Power Apps can integrate in Teams, integrate in your Office 365, your virtual agents, your you can have data bus for Teams. So all of this, your Power Apps can actually be integrated into all of them. So this is the Power Apps design interface. So without wasting much time, I would like to take us straight into the Power Apps design interface so that we can all see that and we can understand it better. So please let me quickly share my screen so that we can see the design interface for that. I hope my screen is visible and we can now see my Power Apps screen. Yes. So this is the Power Apps screen. Okay, thank you very much. This is our Power Apps screen and we are in our environment. Now let us get our hands dirty a bit for the next 10-15 minutes. So this is our home page. We are currently on our home page and there's an integration that Microsoft has done already, such that if you need to create an application and you don't know how you want to create your application, you can ask AI, please, I need to create a particular application that does this, that does that, this and that and that. And you can see at the top here that it's saying this is a developer environment and is not meant for production use. So that means, please take note, you are only using this environment to develop. So if it's a production environment, you will not see this particular warning there. You can see this feature uses generative AI. This is the co-pilots of Power Apps. Microsoft has integrated Copilot in most of its applications so that it will help users of their applications to properly understand, and if they're having any issue with their application, they can easily interact with a quick customer service agent, which is the Microsoft Copilot. So this is the Copilot, and I can describe to the Copilot, I want to build an application for my office app should be used for leave requests. So I don't want to, okay, so you can include preview features. If you want to add files to provide more details, maybe you have a database or a data already, you can do that. But if you want, you can generate already. And what the Copilot will do for you is that it will start creating that particular application, and it will tell you everything that is needed for that particular application to work. You can see at the moment, it's going to do what is telling us that this is a leave request manager application. So you can see the user roles and other things. It has given us in a plan, what's it called, format. So if you are okay with this, you can say this looks good. You understand? And then it will go on to the next thing. It's going to be processing all the other things that you need. The processes, the automations, all those things. You can click on looks good, and then it will start creating the tables, the data model. So you can see data agent is generating the data tables. You can see the employee table, the leave request table, the leave type, the status, notification, all these things. You can read through it. I'm just quickly scrolling through them. So you can see this is a new feature. Before, this feature was not available in Power App. It is relatively new. So you can see that it is telling you this is your problem. this is my problem. I want to build an application. So it will generate other things for you. This plan serves as this and this and this, and this is what you will need. So it's telling you the requirements. You need to do this, submit this, view the status of your leave, see my leave balance, receive notifications, and then it will tell you there's another person called the HR who is going to be approving the leave. It will also make provision for that. And then it will also tell you the processes that is needed. So the processes, covering the end-to-end workflows, the submission, the editing, all of that is going to do all of that. If you are done, I can click looks good. I don't want to finish all of this because you will not learn properly if we have to go through using AI. So I want to leave without saving that. I'm just saying that if you need to quickly build an application and you don't have much time, you can quickly do that. But for purpose of our class, we need to create a new application. And this is our create page. So you can start creating your apps with Copilot. If I click on it, it will take us back to that page where you can now describe what you want to build. So you can quickly start building your app just the way I said that, and it will build your app for you within few minutes. So that being said, you can decide, let me go back, and I want to start with a data. So you want to start with a data. You can connect to an existing table or connect to an external data source. So if you start with data, it will ask you where your data is. Are you creating a new table? Are you creating application from an existing table, or are you connecting to an external source? This is the Dataverse. If you want to connect to Dataverse, this is it. Or if you want to connect to an external data source. So if you click on connecting to an external, it's going to ask you, where are you connecting from? Is it from SharePoint? Is it from Excel? Is it from SQL? Wherever it is, it will ask you, and it will tell you, please select the application. If it's from Excel, it will tell you select the Excel app, and we'll create an app for you. If it's from SQL, the same thing. So you can see how easy it is to start creating your application. So I'm waiting for this to load so that you can see all the other fields that are available. You can see it's asking you, where is your database? If it's SharePoint, it's asking you, where is your SharePoint site? Where is your SharePoint list? All of that, you need to provide it. You can see your SharePoint is going to be loaded here, and it will ask you for the SharePoint site. You input your SharePoint site here. You can see my SharePoint site. I have a SharePoint site already, and I have a list already. And with this list, I can create my app. It will automatically pick that SharePoint list, and it will start creating the app from my SharePoint. Now, or let me go back. You want to create with a design page. So for those of us that already use design layouts, you can create from a design page. Maybe you use Figma to create your UI for your application. I've worked with applications whereby they say, this is how we want the application to look. And they bring a Figma illustration, and they say, we want it to look like this. All you need to do is load it. It will ask you, where is your design layout? And it will load it, and it will automatically give you all the components the same way the layout is there. But for the sake of our class, we have just 2 minutes. We are going to start with a blank canvas. So this is blank canvas. Now, if you click on blank canvas, it's going to ask you, do you want it to be responsive, or a tablet size, or a phone size? Please, please, please. When you see responsive here, it is talking about a model-driven application. That is not what we want. That's why I explained to us that responsive or a model-driven, it will bring automatically its own design for you. And it will just ask you for your data, nothing else. It will not allow you to design your application or anything. No. So you are just only going to bring your data, and it will automatically create the design for you. So I'm waiting for this to load. I just wanted to show us for the sake of those that, okay, let me just go back quickly. I don't think, so let me just click on tablet size. So if you click on responsive, of course, we are going to get a the model-driven feature for that. But for the sake of this class, because we are majorly focusing on the Canvas app. So if it's a mobile application as well, you can also click on the mobile version and you'll be able to design your application in a mobile format. Please always have the screen type in mind whenever you are designing a Power Canvas application. So it's asking you, you can start designing your application from a blank canvas. You can create a form or create a gallery. So I don't want this to show me. If I want to add a form or a gallery, I will add it myself.
Okay.
So ladies and
Well
gentlemen,
done, sir.
yes, I want to round up now. Thank you very much, Anna.
Okay.
So this is the design interface. This is our kitchen where we'll be doing most of the designing for the Power Apps. So in our next class, we'll be talking properly about all the design interface, the design components, the screens, the properties, the formula. You can see FX here. You can see formula color.white. This is where all the formulas go in. So I will not want to waste any more time. Time is already gone, but I want to say thank you very much for the time today. If anyone has any other question, I would like to entertain your question before I call you. Okay, Tioluwa, you have a question?
Yeah. So it's about the Figma design example that you give the other time. You said we could import our Figma design into Power Apps and the Canvas, Power Apps Canvas, yes?
Yes.
So like, when we import it, will it be one for one, like every single component that you put in your Figma, it will be there? You will just have to just make it responsive.
Yes, you will now make it responsive. So it will imitate all the containers, forms, header, all those things. It will imitate it, and then it will create its own version for you. And you can now start editing the components that it has created for you.
So one more, what will happen if there's like maybe any component that is not available in Power Apps in your Figma design?
It will not create it for you. So you have to do that manually. But at least you would have gotten your frame of your design interface with your colors also. All those things is what it will pick. So your design, your colors, the frame, and all those things, it will pick that automatically for you.
Okay.
So it's an AI feature. So, AI is not perfect. So it will just emulate or simulate what it has seen, and it will give it the best available option.
Okay, right. Thank you. So one last question.
You see, I'm not the one. Please, it's Tioluwa. All right, ask your question, please.
No, let him go ahead. Ask your question.
All right, thank you.
Okay, right. So this one is more from a professional viewpoint. Like, how would you advise if someone to go strictly Power Apps as for from a professional view, and if it's okay to do strictly Power Apps as be a Power Platform developer, what kind of certification and path would you suggest?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that question. I would like to give that advice. Basically, there is also this Power Platform functional consultant is to launch us into that particular field. So if you want to do that, I know at least 4 to 5 to 7 Power Apps developers that are good, that I myself run to whenever I run into any issue using Power Apps. I'm not perfect. You understand? I'm also learning. You get? So I know Power Apps developers that what they do is they develop Power Apps. And if you go online and you search for remote jobs, or even within Nigeria, you search Power Apps developer, you will see the roles there and you see how much they are making. Do you understand? So if you want to, you can go there, you can build yourself. That's why I said at the beginning of the class that please go into the Microsoft Learn and learn more, read more, practicalize the practicals that are there. There are practicals there available for you to try out that you can use to make yourself, and then write the certification exams. You write the PL 200 is the Power Platform Functional Consultant. The PL 400 is the Power Platform Developer. So to be a full developer on the Power Platform, Power Apps, Power Automate. Of course, if you're using Power Apps developer, you can also, or you should also know how to use Power Automate. So Power Apps, Power Automate, most times they always go hand in hand, interchangeably. So you should understand both of them. It makes it really, really easy for you as the developer. So please, if you want to, you can be a Power Apps developer. You'll be building apps, and there's a market for it. Very amazing market. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. I know how many companies are using Power Apps that are working on their applications and maintaining their applications and automations.
Okay, thank you. I would just like to understand, like, where will I go to search for like opportunities for job opportunities in like Power App field?
Just do it on Google, Indeed, LinkedIn, everywhere. The opportunities are there.
Okay,
You
thank you. Yes,
so they are there. Just you can do the search now. Check LinkedIn, search for Power Apps.
Thank you. I just wanted to be sure. Thank you very much.
Yes. They
All
are.
right, thank you.
People are looking for them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Oluwanimi, for that question. I think that question he asked also goes with is it Oluwagbemiga? He was asking on the chat, please, is PL 200 exam still administered?
You're saying, okay, Anna. Okay.
So I said there's a question on the chat. Is PL 200 exam still administered on like I think PL 100 that is retired?
PL 100, I think the course code has been changed to PL 600. That's Power Apps. I think that's dedicated to just Power Apps. So there's no more PL 100, but I think it's now PL 600 that is Power Apps. PL 500 is dedicated to Power Automate. So if you just want to know that, please just check online, Microsoft website or Google, just check PL codes for all the Microsoft courses or all the Microsoft PL courses. You will see the PL number and the code. So you will know what you are looking for. PL 200 is Power Platform Functional Consultant. 300 is Data Analysis, Power BI. 400 is Power Platform Developer. 500 is Power Automate. That's all these things are in depth into them. But to launch you into all of this, I think 600 is now the Power Apps. So, but to launch you all is 200. That's where we are starting with 200. If you don't understand 200, you can't do 400, you can't do 500, you can't do 600. So 200 is the launching part for everyone, so that you can now decide to move on from there to other courses. I myself, I'm still learning some of all these other courses. So, but 200 is the starting point for everyone.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shegun. There's another question. It said, did this training begin today? With what I've been listening to and questions asked, is definitely not for beginners like me. Mr. Shegun, would you like to react to that, sir?
Okay. Well, the training for the Power Platform Functional Consultants began today. And it's not for professionals. It's for people that already have a knowledge or two about, general computer. You're working in an organization. And most times I used to tell people, if you want to start learning about Power Apps, it's always important. It just helps you to have a requisite knowledge of data analytics. So if someone comes to me and say they want to start learning Power Apps, Power this, I used to tell them, okay, do you know data analytics? Do you understand? It's like a base for the Power Platform. You understand all these things from there, because in Power Apps, you are dealing with data. In Power Automate, you are also dealing with data. All these things, you are dealing with data. So it's important to understand the data analytics itself. So from data analytics or data analysis, you can now say, okay, I want to move on to all these other specializations. So it's for beginners, actually. Of course, you need to understand how an organization works, the structure of an organization, because we are building business applications and not personal applications, not Google Play applications or Play Store or Apple Store. We are building it for business, for companies, basically. And so it's very important that you know you have a basic knowledge of how organizations work. I think that should answer that question.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Shegun. I want to appreciate you for your time and for taking our time to deliver this lecture. And I want to appreciate everyone for joining and for your time as well. Please, I want you to help us to fill the feedback form for this Power Platform. Thank you, Madam Franca. So I want you to help us fill the feedback form for this Power Platform course that we started today. So Kelechi, yes, the course began today, and it is a low code, no code, and it is user friendly. I don't want you to be scared or run away. I think next time, by this time next month, probably we should make use of your screen, and then so you see how easy it is. When you have hands-on on it, you know that, oh, this thing I was scared, but it is not something so difficult. So please, I want you to give me thumbs up if you have filled the form, the feedback form for this particular PL 200 Power Apps functional certification. Please, let's fill the feedback form. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so please, can we appreciate our facilitator for today? Thank you. Thank you,
very much.
Theodora. Please, let's give our emoji, virtual appreciation. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. We are sorry to take much of your time. Next time we'll plan to end this section maybe 5 minutes to the end of the time to give room for questions and also for us to be able to fill feedback form. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Have a lovely weekend. Hope to see you on Power Platform this time next month by 5 p.m. And Mr.